manage over 75 different short-term rentals here in Belfast, all shapes and sizes, from 1-bedroom apartments all the way up to 5-bedroom penthouses. But how is it that one of these properties, with an average nightly rate of 75 quid, generated over £173,000 last year? In this video, I'm going to break down all the numbers, show you how I did it, so you can do it too.
No secrets.
And if you're wanting to start or grow an Airbnb business, then I've got a ton of amazing resources in the link below, including my Amazon #1 best-selling book. So how the hell did we get to 173k from 75 quid a night? Well, you see, the interesting thing about this property is that I don't sell the entire place to just one group. I rent out each of the 7 rooms individually. So let's say this Cheerio is £75 for one night. This is what one room earns in 1 week. Now I imagine we have 7 rooms earning £75 a night. And over the course of a year, of course, we're not at 100% occupancy, it's 88, and that gets us to the 173k. Well, that was fun to clean up. Now, you might have already seen this property because, honestly, I've been talking about it for years and years and about how it just keeps on getting better and better. Now, the last video I did on this channel about this property, it's actually 8 months ago. 8 months, time flies when you're having fun. But in that video, the total it had done in a year was 160k. So how the hell have I squeezed another 13k out of this bad boy? Well, to be honest, it's 2 things. The first one, and I did touch on it in that last video, was the renovation. Now, when I first brought the property to market, it looked like this. I personally thought it was amazing looking, beautiful, and it did do very well. However, the rock stars on my team weren't so keen, decided to take things to the next level, and boy did they. I mean, the design, features, and elements and quirkiness in this property now is just way beyond anything that I could have dreamt up in my stupid Neanderthal man brain. It just looks amazing. There's nothing like it in Belfast. Is there anything like it where you are? It's like a boutique hotel now. It's just so desirable when people click on it. The rooms all look different, and even the really super small rooms have real character in there, and you know, people book it. They're not disappointed whenever they know they're coming to stay in a small room because it's got that atmospheric look about it and feel about it. So when people are seeing it in search results, they're getting the feel that they're getting this boutique hotel vibe with rock bottom prices to come and stay. So it's in super high demand. The second thing we did was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in business. Did it back in January 2024, and that was, you're not going to be surprised, but it's signing up to Price Labs. We were using a rate pricing software before. I'm not going to name them because I'm not here to throw shit on anyone. It was good. I thought it was good, but when we turned on Price Labs, dear God, things changed. The functionality on Price Labs far outweighs anyone else that we could find on the market. And the algorithm just seems to know everything. It's like AI Skynet all rolled into one. It just knows what to do.
I'm all seeing. All knowing.
And honestly, that is what's catapulted our revenue sky high in the last year. Look at this. Our best month, 2024, was August. We had 92% occupancy and a room revenue of over £20,000. 20k from 1 month. An average nightly rate of over 100 quid. Average length of stay of 3.8 nights. And already, like, I remember talking in previous videos about how my best month, which also was in August a couple of years ago, was like 11 grand. The numbers were staggering. I remember in August 2019, the property did 11 grand in bookings in that 1 month. Now, that just blew me away. That was a million times more than any of our other properties had done. So it's almost doubled our best month. Now, I just want to break down the room revenue because we have 3 different room categories in this property. The first are what we call the budget rooms. So they are tight, they are small. You can fit 2 people in there. They are double beds. It is a bit of a squeeze, but we sell it for 2. And over the year, it was 91% occupancy, average nightly rate of 70 quid. That is not much, but this is not much of a room. And those 2 rooms over the year did over £47,000 of that 173k total. The next room type up, slightly bigger, what we call a standard room. We used to only class 2 of these, but we knocked down one of the ones from the next highest thing back down into this one. We now have 3 of these. And again, 91% occupancy across last year. An average price per night of £76, and they brought in a total revenue of £76,000 over the year. And you can even see our average length of stay in this room type was 4.6 nights. These are not people who are just coming for a weekend or a one night stay. These are people, I'm gonna go deep into it later about why people are coming here, but they're not here just for travel, for leisure. And then our 2 rooms, which we call Superior, these are at the front of the house, so they get the full width of the house. They are much more spacious. They're personally my favorite ones. 81% occupancy in here and an average nightly rate of £80 per night. So these 2 rooms did almost 50k between them across last year. And again, look at that average length of stay, 6.5 nights over the year. The people coming to stay here were staying for much longer than just your standard leisure visitor coming for the weekend. And just to throw a few more figures at you, here is the breakdown of the booking source, where these bookings came from. So we worked really hard last year to try and increase our direct bookings and wrestle back control from those OTAs. You can see here the vast majority has still come from Booking.com, 72%, over 130k of that straight from Booking.com, so 15% of it, goodbye, back to the Booking.com gods. But we've got just over 30k of direct bookings, so that's clean, fresh money in our account, no booking commission being paid to anyone else. And I think this property type lends itself much better to the more professional OTAs like Booking.com and Expedia, who also showcase B&Bs, guest houses and hotels where people can select a room instead of expecting that they're going to get a whole property like on Airbnb. Now, what else contributed to this property's success? Well, I cannot talk about it without discussing one of the biggest fundamental important things in my opinion for the success of this property, and that's every single room in this house has an ensuite. No one has to share a bathroom, everyone's got their own private ensuite they can use. It makes it so much more desirable. Next up is the location of this property. It's really conveniently located. It's near hospitals and it's near a university. So we get a lot of people traveling for work. They're either working in the hospital or working in the university. We get some people who are actually like visiting family for extended periods of time in the hospital. So the location here is key. It's also really close to the city centre. You can hop on a bus and be in town in 5 minutes. Another big thing that we did to increase the revenue here, I'm gonna be honest, is we increased the review score. Back in the day, a couple of years ago, the review score had dipped in here on Booking.com, which is the only really one that I look at. It was sitting at 7.9. Now 7.9 is not great. It's embarrassing for me when I'm showcasing about how to get 5-star reviews and 10 out of 10s all the time to be showing you I've got a 7.9. But here, there's no secrets here.
Super honesty time.
And I'll tell you why it was low, for a couple of reasons, but the main one was this property went live in 2019. And up until 2023, we hadn't really done much to it to sort of maintain it, improve it. And the reason being, it's so damn hard to get into this place. It's so busy that it's really difficult to like block off a room, get it repainted, because there's so many bookings in there and it's really hard to move things around. So we just things kept getting put off and put off. We were trying to do patch jobs. It wasn't working. And in 2023, we just said, right, close it off. I don't care about losing out in bookings. We're gonna seriously like reduce the amount of income we're taking here, but we're investing that time back to make this place kick ass and killer. That's how we did the renovation to get it up to the standard it's in now. Now the review score is at 8.2, and I think the biggest reason of how that's had a good impact on us is because when people are using Booking.com and they're searching, they're trying to filter out thousands of results, they use those filters at the side, and one of the most popular ones is a review score of 8+. So if they ticked that before, when we were at 7.9, we just disappear. Now we're at 8.2, we're showing up. We're getting more bookings because of that. Now it goes without saying that better reviews leads to better revenue. It's one of my catchphrases. But another way to look at it is that it's actually worth sacrificing some revenue in the short term by closing off availability to get in, get the stuff done, improve the property so that you're going to get more revenue in the future. Now there are some drawbacks with a property like this. It is not plain sailing, it is not perfect, and it's certainly not easy money. First up, what you might expect is noise. If you have 7 rooms in one house, there is going to be noise. Noise travels from one floor to the other. Noise travels from people walking past other people's doors. There's a shared kitchen here, so there's noise whenever people are going in and out of the kitchen with the door closing. Speaking of the shared kitchen as well, it can be a bit awkward if you're trying to cook something and then other people come in and they're trying to cook. We have set this place up properly. It was an old HMO, so there's 2 ovens, there's 2 washing machines, everything's there. There's enough stuff for multiple people to be using it at the same time. But still, it's odd. And if someone comes down and they're cooking something unique with some unique smells, that can permeate throughout the entire house. So there's considerations to be made there. People know, I hope, when they're booking that this is a shared kitchen. We do say it in the listings, it's clear everywhere, but it's just one thing to bear in mind. You do need to sort of manage that a bit. And also, it's a hell of a lot more work. If we were renting this place out as a one place with 7 bedrooms to one group, it would be one booking in, one person to communicate with, one set of guests to deal with. But when you rent it out to 7 people and across 7 rooms, that's 7 times the amount of work. And when you're doing all that work for 75 quid a night, you can think, this is really not that worth it. But remember this, whenever it all piles up, it is worth it in the end. If you're thinking, I wouldn't mind a piece of that, who would this property work for? Well, clearly if you're an HMO investor and you have some HMOs, which this thing was in the past, then you could have a couple of these sitting ready to go. Remember how important the location is. It has to be close to places where people are going to come and stay for a prolonged period of time, near a university or a hospital, or if you can, close to both. And certainly being in a city centre location is going to massively increase that demand as well. Now, 170k from one property certainly was nice, but across the whole portfolio, it's actually over £4 million per year. And I'm sure you can imagine, with over 18,000 guests coming through our doors every year, we've learned a thing or two. And that's why the next video you need to watch is this one here, where I'm giving you 30 of my top lessons that I've learned over the last little while. Click this one first, subscribe first, then click this one, and I'll see you in a sec.